Joining us now, Democratic Iowa State Senator and candidate for U.S. Senate, Zach Wahls. Zach, thank you for being with us this morning. So Iowa is a state that for a long time was sort of seen as a sort of almost a definitional swing state. Went back and forth a little bit. Not quite Ohio, but not far off. But it's definitely trended red in recent cycles. But there seems to be real hope among Democrats that it's in play. Tell us why.
Well, so we're really excited about the momentum that we've seen in Iowa. Over the last year, we've had 6 special elections for our state legislature. Democrats have had massive overperformances in all 6 of those special elections. Our most recent one, this was late December, a 27-point overperformance. This is for a state Senate district in the Des Moines area, and we held on to that seat. We flipped 2 seats in the state Senate, and we're really excited about the momentum that we're seeing. I will also tell you Donald Trump's approval rating in our state has absolutely cratered. The latest polling that I saw, this is, I think, from Economist YouGov, had his approval rating at -12. That is a 25-point swing from his 13-point win in 2024. I would point straight at the tariffs that they put into place that have been hammering our state's ag economy, manufacturing as well, and the Medicaid cuts. You saw, Senator Ernst talking about, now we're all going to die. Obviously not a very popular health care plan. We have already, unfortunately, seen hospitals and clinics announce their closures. And my Republican opponent in this race, Ashley Henson, has been a rubber stamp. She's voted 4 different times for the tariffs, voted for the Medicaid cuts, voted for cuts to food assistance, voted for cuts to clean energy investment, utility bills in Iowa spiking. We think there's a real chance here to flip this seat and bring it home.
Senator, the whole issue of affordability and sometimes has been projected in urban context. But in your state, I think affordability is something that has hit farmers, that has hit rural states. Talk about how this issue may resonate in New York, but it also resonates in Des Moines because it's a real critical issue that has not been, in the judgment of most of us, confronted properly by the Republicans.
100%, Reverend. What I would tell you, we've been to 66 of Iowa's 99 counties, over 15,000 miles on the car. When we are out in small town and rural communities, the impacts of the tariffs cannot be overstated. There's been a lot of coverage and discussion about the impacts of reciprocal tariffs and the trade war on exports and grain prices. What's gotten less attention is the impact of tariffs on the inputs for farmers. So you're talking about seed, fertilizer, potash, pesticide, herbicide, fungicide. If your combine needs a new part, most of that is either imported or manufactured domestically from imported parts. Those prices were already high before Donald Trump took office, and the tariffs have just sent it through the roof. If this upcoming planting season, these prices are staying where they are, and of course now with the war in Iran, price of fertilizer going through the roof as well. About 40% of the world's nitrogen-based fertilizer goes through the Strait of Hormuz. It's going to be a really, really tough year for a lot of farmers, and that has ripple effects across our entire small town and rural economy throughout the state.
Zach, as you know, and I found out clearly, affordability is a big issue out there. But in Iowa, as you travel the state and you get out of Des Moines, out of the big urban areas that are in the state, Des Moines, what's the issue like in terms of people talking to you about the access and affordability, but access to health care?
So there are 2 things that we talk about a lot. Number one, the impacts of these Medicaid cuts. You are already seeing clinics, hospitals announce closures for their facilities. We actually went to Joni Ernst's hometown in Red Oak, Iowa. We met with leadership from Montgomery County Memorial Hospital, asked them what these Medicaid cuts would mean to them. What they told us was that Medicaid, the directed payments program, had been, these are their words, our salvation. 60% of Iowa hospitals have been operating in the red before that program came online. And with these cuts that Ashley Henson and Joni Ernst both voted for, that Donald Trump signed into law, the hospital leaders that I spoke with are worried that we're going to see 60% of Iowa hospitals go back into the red, and these closures are just the beginning. The other issue that we hear about a lot is the closure of small town and rural pharmacies. If you look at a map of the state of Iowa and you put a dot where there has been a closure for a pharmacy in the last 5 years, the entire state lights up. And that's because there are these entities called pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs. Essentially, they are middlemen that have consolidated an enormous amount of power in the market, and they are squeezing these small town and rural pharmacies. And so Iowa seniors are having to drive further and further and further to get access to the medication that they need. Ashley Henson as well, who's, by the way, accepted millions of dollars from the insurance and pharmaceutical industry, voted against Medicare being able to negotiate over drug prices, voted against the cap on the price of insulin, which is life-saving medication for 250,000 Iowans. There is a real contrast for voters in this race here in November, and we are really excited about the chance to win this seat back as a part of the path to 51 seats in the United States Senate.
All right, Democratic Iowa State Senator and candidate for U.S. Senate, Zach Wahls.